Happy Saturday, everyone. My name is George, and I'm just going to give you guys my quick thoughts on the news that broke a couple days ago about New Gods in the Trench being canceled by WB. This is just the newest news in DC films. Ever since Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, it just feels like every day something new is happening with DC films as far as the news goes. And this came as a surprise because this was on April Fool's Day, so everyone assumed it was probably fake news or just a prank, but it's been confirmed. The director of New Gods, Ava DuVernay, sorry if I mispronounced that last name, has confirmed it, and it sounds like they just want to move on. James Wan, who was supposed to direct The Trench, is more focused on Aquaman 2, which makes sense because, let's face it, The Trench seemed like a silly idea of a spin off. It was a cool scene in the first Aquaman, but did anyone really want to see it? Anyways, as far as the New Gods thing goes, I'm a little torn on it because it sounded like a cool project, but after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, it just feels hard to do New Gods, especially when Darkseid was supposed to be in it, Granny Goodness, and some of these other characters, and it's like we already have our great Darkseid and Ray Porter, so what's the point if we're not going to have Ray Porter come in? And I don't know where Ava stood on the whole Snyderverse thing. I don't know if she was pro or against it. It sounds like her and Ray do have some kind of relation. Apparently, Ray Porter last year said it was okay if you recast. They must have been talking, so maybe she wanted to cast Ray Porter, maybe she didn't. I don't know. Now, what's pretty interesting about this is that this could be for a number of reasons. It could be that this film's just gone through so much rewrites and they just can't find something they like. This happened with Spider-Man 4 years ago. That's why Spider-Man 4 got canceled. Sam Raimi wanted a perfect Spider-Man movie, or not perfect, but a great Spider-Man movie with Spider-Man 4, and he just couldn't find one. He hated every script. So maybe that's what's happening with Ava, that this film went through 5 rewrites and nothing worked. Maybe she just wants to move on to other projects. This just might not be a priority for DC films right now. Maybe it's because of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Maybe they want to do New Gods in their own way. Maybe they just want to do it in the Snyderverse way. I don't know. If that's the case, this is just a sign of the brewing civil war that's happening right now between the pro Snyderverse people and the anti Snyderverse people. Now, here's something that's interesting. So, Inside Scooper, Mikey Sutton, who isn't always accurate, so take this with a grain of salt. Insiders tend to not always be accurate, but according to Mikey Sutton, this was a decision made by AT&T and Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar. Now, just to give some clarity, AT&T and Jason Kilar have been very pro Snyder Cut. They've been, impressed with it. So it makes sense that they would be, more open to the idea of continuing the Snyderverse, even if it's just for HBO Max. And Mikey Sutton was on this YouTube channel, 3 Buck Theater, and he told the host, Matt Jarbo, that Walter Hamada is not happy. And the reason why is because Hamada wants to do his own thing with DC films. He doesn't want to continue the Snyderverse, or at least he doesn't seem like he wants to. And also, New Gods was essentially the first film he greenlit. So Hamada came on board back in January 2018 as DC Films president. New Gods was announced 2 months later. That was the first film he greenlit. And then months later, he greenlit The Trench after the first Aquaman did very well. So these were essentially supposed to be his films that were going to make his mark on DC films. And now that they've been canceled, he doesn't really have that anymore. Now, does this mean that the Snyderverse is going to get restored? No. Now, like I said, take this with a grain of salt as well, because Mikey also is saying that there's talks of doing a multiverse Justice League, and that multiverse Justice League would only keep certain things from the Snyderverse, like Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill no longer be Superman. It would most likely be the J.J. Abrams reboot Superman that's being talked about. Robert Pattinson's Batman would take over, even though he's in his own Earth. It just sounds like a bizarre fan fiction. I don't want to get into too much details about it and get off track. But that just tells you that something's happening in WB. There's a lot of conflicting information. And I don't think we're ever really going to know the official reason why New Gods has been canceled. I'm most likely leaning to the fact that because this film has been announced for 3 years and nothing's been like moved forward, no castings, going through all these rewrites. That's probably a big reason. And it could also just be that they don't know what to do right now. They don't know if they want to restore the Snyderverse or not right now. I told one of my friends this is going to be a very interesting month. 2 weeks since Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, and we've gotten a lot of interesting news. And we're not probably going to get a confirmation in April. Maybe we will. I don't know. But it might take a while. And it sounds like if WB did cancel New Gods because of Zack Snyder's Justice League and their interest in the Snyderverse, then they have some plans for these characters. And who knows, maybe New Gods will happen. This is just another reminder, though, that WB announces a lot of cool stuff, talks a big schedule, but only a few of those films on that schedule get delivered. Aquaman, Shazam. Some of those films get canceled. New Gods, Cyborg. Some of those films still haven't happened, but they're still talking about them, like Green Lantern Corps. And some of those films do happen, but they go through changes. The Batman and the Flash film. So yeah, this is just another messy saga with their schedule as well. Even if this isn't a restore the Snyderverse thing, it's just another saga of their messy schedule. So like I said, The Trench, I don't really care about. I don't think anyone really cared about that film. Even if it was going to be an HBO Max exclusive, it would have been a waste of time. New Gods, I'm torn about that because on one hand, that would have been cool, but on the other hand, after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's just hard to see someone else playing Darkseid right now if it's not going to be Ray Porter, or just seeing that if it's not going to be connected to the Snyderverse. It just feels really weird what's going on. And hopefully they figure something out. Hopefully we'll see Darkseid and these new God characters again. In the meantime, we just got to keep hearing what's going on. And like I said, these are just things that sound like rumors. I'm not going to confirm anything, but there's something happening. And I don't want to come across as anti-Walter Hamada. I don't want to treat Walter Hamada as the next Kathleen Kennedy. But it's very clear that he likes to announce things that some people aren't interested in. And I think that's kind of the annoying part. It's not so much that he's against the Snyderverse. It's just, did we really need films like The Trench? We'd rather see like a Man of Steel 2 or the Cyborg film. Anyways, those are just my thoughts on this whole New Gods Trench cancellation from WB. Like I said, don't get your hopes up of the Snyderverse getting restored just yet. As much as I want it to be restored, this doesn't mean that it's going to get restored. It just means that there's some kind of debate going on about it. Please leave a like and please subscribe. Please share this video if you know someone that's interested in DC films. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon. And enjoy your weekend and have a happy Easter.